Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Rice Report. I want to thank you for tuning in to find out what's going on in my office, your office here in Rockville, and throughout the county. I wanted to talk to you about our most recent incident, which involves Hurricane Sandy. And while this was a tremendous storm of the most confusing configurations for our folks that were forecasting the weather, from our National Weather Service and local meteorologists, I think that we ended up faring very well compared to some of our other neighboring states. And so I want to say thank you very much to all of my residents that heeded the warnings, that took the proper precautions. I want to thank our public utilities for staffing up and preparing for this storm so that they could effectively address some of the power outages that we experienced. Unfortunately, as we heard through many of the media outlets, we had two incidents in my district involving people during this horrible storm. The first was a car accident that happened off of Brink Road to where a young man and his brother were involved in a car accident with a woman from Clarksburg. And unfortunately, that woman was killed as a result of that accident, and that accident was deemed to be related to the storm. Unfortunately, those are the kinds of things where we try and ask people to remain vigilant and stay at home, to not go outside. And so our thoughts and prayers are with both families as they struggle through this difficult time. I also wanted to mention to you about pedestrian safety. Just recently, we had an unfortunate incident to where a young lady was killed, a Seneca Valley High School student. And I want to make sure that I'm reminding all of my parents, teachers, neighborhoods, anyone who comes in contact with young people, to remind them to use our crosswalks, but also to make sure that they're crossing with the crosswalk signal. It is extremely important, and I know that oftentimes you think that you can make it to the other side, and this is an unfortunate case where a young 15-year-old girl lost her life because she thought she could make it to the other side. And again, our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to the Ward family as they struggle through this difficult time and their difficult loss. We have elections that are approaching on November 6th, and I've been at our early voting place at Germantown Community Center, and the turnout has been remarkable. We have been closely monitoring how our Board of Elections has been operating with this increased voter turnout, and have promised to support them if they do need additional either election judges or machines for our upcoming elections. You know, this is the first time that we've actually had a presidential election under our early voting cycle. And so this is a great opportunity for us to study and realize what's working and what's not working so that we can fix it for next time. But I do assure you that we'll continue to be out. I want to make sure that those of you that haven't voted, please do vote. It is extremely important. It is your civic duty. And look forward to seeing support for many of the ballot initiatives that are priorities for the county. I would like at this point to be joined by John Henry Chaney and by Charles Frazier. Recently in the County Council, we actually had a number of different great events that we were able to acknowledge. One of them was two congressional gold medal winners, John Chaney and Charles Frazier, who I had the pleasure of presenting proclamations for their achievements. And I can't tell you how proud we are of these World War II veterans who did a tremendous job in fighting against adversity and racism and still serving their country.
I would like to thank the ones that put this together. And I would like to thank the Lord for letting me be. Yeah, at 92 years old. To receive this.
And it was a very proud moment for me to bestow those proclamations on them and to actually hold that Congressional Gold Medal. What a great honor, and we do owe all of our veterans a debt of gratitude for all that they've done to protect us and our country and our way of life. And as we have Veterans Day that's approaching, I want to take this moment to say thank you. Thank you to all of you that have served, to all of the families who have loved ones that they've lost, who have given their ultimate sacrifice. And finally, thank you to my father, Marine Corps veteran Leon Rice, for your service as well. Recently, we held a number of town hall meetings, and one of them was at Clarksburg on September 19th. And that meeting was an opportunity for us to talk about the impending limited master plan amendment proposals that were out there regarding 10 Mile Creek and a lot of the other developments in the area, and to also talk about some of the road issues that we continue to have challenges with. And we'll be having a follow-up meeting with our Clarksburg residents now that the council has passed a limited master plan amendment. But let me just remind my Clarksburg residents that I remain committed to you to make sure that we are delivering on the promises that we have made, and I will not stray from that commitment. I also wanted to talk to you about our North Potomac community meeting that I held jointly with Councilmember Phil Andrews. And that was on October 3rd, where we talked about a myriad of local issues. Our Chief Bowers talked about the Travilla Fire Station that will be coming up very soon. And we also talked about the great news about the North Potomac Community Center, which is in the works and should be done in approximately 2 years. These are exciting things for us in really making sure that our North Potomac community has had its promises delivered upon as well. We had a youth town hall meeting that was on October 10th, and the full council was there to hear about some of the issues that our youth felt.
My question is what is your #1 goal for this school year?
It makes me think. One of my #1 priorities is to make sure that we're addressing the achievement gap in our schools. And it was a great opportunity to hear some of the young ideas. And myself being the state representative for the Young Elected Officials Network, it was a great opportunity for me to start seeing who some of our next future leaders for this county and this state were. I also wanted to just briefly touch on Health and Human Services Roundtable that we had with all of our stakeholders. They gave us a snapshot of where we are in terms of services throughout the county and how much of a necessity it's going to be for us in this upcoming year to make sure that our budget effectively and appropriately reflects the needs of our county. Many of our agencies have been doing a yeoman's job in doing more with less. But they are reaching the breaking point, and so we definitely need to provide them with more support. And so I look forward to that in our next upcoming budget. Upcoming, we have a Rocky Hill Middle School meeting with our Up-County Citizens Advisory Board and the planning community, and that will be on November 19th. We also have a full council meeting. It's a Potomac Town Hall meeting in Potomac on November 7th at 8 o'clock at the Potomac Community Recreation Center. Now, I have not forgotten my other communities that I represent, and we will be holding future town halls in those areas in the very near future, right after the new year. And those go out to my Montgomery Village residents and especially my home, Germantown. There are a lot of great and exciting things that are happening in the Germantown community. Many of you have seen the Wegmans grocery store and the surrounding stores that will accompany it. It signifies a great progress for us in continuing to move forward in all the great things that we're seeing happen in Germantown. But there's more in store, and I'm very excited to be able to report to you at that town hall meeting about some of the new and innovative ideas I have to keep Germantown at the forefront. I wanted to just briefly talk to you and give you some updates. Gaithersburg Montgomery Village Library is moving forward and is on schedule. Our Plumgar Recreation Center is now back on schedule and is moving forward, and so those folks in Germantown will be very happy about that, as well as our Germantown Town Center Urban Park. All of those things are in the works and doing phenomenal. And so soon we'll be starting to take on our budget. And our Office of Legislative Oversight will be giving us reports talking about a number of different issues that are going to be important to us to consider. Most recently, we received an update on maintenance of effort. I encourage you to take a look at the OLO report for maintenance of effort and what it means for us when it comes to making sure that our children's budget is protected when it comes to education, but also understanding that we have a children's budget associated with the wraparound services that are important to them, as well as to every single one of you. These are tough and difficult times for us as we face another challenging year. But I assure you that our priorities will always be your priorities, making sure that we're delivering the best Montgomery County that we can. and I want to encourage you to be involved in that process. So please feel free to always contact me. My telephone number here in the office is 240-777-7955. You can also reach out to us on Facebook. It's Councilmember Craig Rice, or Twitter, Rice Politics. And of course, you can always email us. It's councilmember.rice@montgomerycountymd.gov. I want to thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Rice Report and remind you to always make sure that you're involved in your office, my office here in Rockville. Thanks so much, and God bless.